So we've been reading our Bible, right? We've been reading about Moses and the plagues. And finally, Pharaoh told Moses that the Israelites could leave Egypt. So they're getting ready to leave. The Israelites hurried along the road. Some led flocks of sheep or goats or herds of cattle, which are cows. Moses was taking them out of Egypt to a new place all their own. They had to move very quickly. God was there to show the Israelites the way. So God was going to be leading them to something called the Promised Land. By day, God went ahead of them in a pillar, which is a big cloud of cloud. By night, he went with them as a pillar of fire to give them light. And so they could travel by day and by night. God told Moses to take the people across the desert to the Red Sea. When they got to the sea, they looked behind them. A great army was coming. Pharaoh had once again changed his mind and was going after the Israelites. Now, he did not want to lose his slaves, so he had sent his soldiers and horsemen to bring them back. The Israelites had nowhere to run, so in front of them was the Red Sea, which is the name of the water, and behind them were the Egyptians coming. They cried out in fear. But God came again to Moses and he said, "Lift up your staff and stretch your hand over the sea." Moses did as he was told, and lo, the waters of the sea divided. That means, so Moses lifted his arm up right here, and water went up this way and water went up this way. And between the two walls of water was dry ground so the Israelites could cross through. The army of Pharaoh saw what was happening. The horsemen and the soldiers in their chariots rode after the Israelites into the parted sea. But God slowed them down. He made the wheels of their chariots fall off and the horses lose their footing. All the Israelites passed through the sea, and then God said to Moses, "Lift up your hand over the sea once more." When Moses turned and lifted his hand, the waters of the Red Sea flowed back together, and the sea covered the chariots and the horsemen, and Pharaoh's army was washed away. The Israelites celebrated their safe journey out of Egypt. All day they sang and danced and praised God. They were finally free. So they made it across. The Egyptians weren't able to follow them because God told Moses to lift his staff, and he parted the Red Sea. That means they made a pathway for them to go in there. So today we're going to be making that. We're going to be using this piece of paper, okay? And we're going to make our picture. So we're going to use markers and crayons today, all right? So I'm going to use my marker, and I'm just going to draw like waves of water, kind of like that, on both sides. My little book is closed. I'm drawing on both sides. You could add some green too if you want. Sometimes the sea kind of looks green with marker. And then we can use our crayons, and we can kind of color on top of it a little bit, just to give it a really good look of the sea, the Red Sea. Now that's just the name of the water. It wasn't really red. It was just called the Red Sea. All right, so press pause if you need to finish that, because then we're gonna open it up. We're gonna open it up, and we're gonna do the same thing, but this time we're gonna do it on the white sides of the inside. Make our water, make our ocean, make our sea. It's called the Red Sea, and I'm kind of just doing little scribbles, huh? To make it look like water. I'll use some green again. And then I'm gonna use my crayon again. And I'm gonna color. Just the little flaps on the side. All right, press pause if you need to finish because I'm gonna move on. All right, then Moses was their leader, right? He was walking in front and the people were like, Moses, Moses, what are we gonna do? The Egyptians are coming behind us and the Red Sea's in front of us. What do we do? And God told Moses, what did God say to Moses? He said, lift up your staff, right? So we're gonna draw Moses, however you wanna draw a person. We're gonna draw Moses's hand. We're gonna draw his staff being lifted up. And what happened? So when Moses lifted his staff up, what happened? The water parted, it went to the side so the Israelites could walk through on the dry ground underneath. Now, normally, the ocean doesn't part like that and lets people walk across it, does it? Or any water, really. So this was so cool. This was a miracle. God was showing the Israelites, the people, Moses, how powerful he was. So after you draw your Moses, we're going to draw all the other Israelites walking through. I'm just drawing. These are called stick people because we want to have a lot of them. I'm going to change my color just so I have different colors. Different colors of people there. Because there were a lot of Israelites. Whoopsie. And Moses just stood there and he had his staff lifted up and then everybody passed through. Talk about the coolest thing ever, huh? And they were all happy and they sang and they cheered and they praised God once they were through and safe away from that mean old Pharaoh, huh? See how many people you can fit in there. Ooh, I can fit a lot. There we go. Look at Moses lifting up his staff and all the Israelites going through. But their story's not over. Their journey's not done. They have not reached the promised land yet. They just got through the Red Sea.